Good morning. Good morning, good morning. It's so funny because I'm the one who makes the schedule for myself. I can't even blame anybody else. And I'm like, who thought it was a good idea to show up after a holiday weekend at 7 a.m.? And then I look at what else I have going on today. I guess that was it was kind of me, wasn't it? Or isn't it? So, good morning, everybody. I'm just doing one little thing right here. Because. Okay, there we go. And what day is today? Today is July 7th. Oh, interesting. Okay. You know what? Good morning, everybody. I have a little bit of a, what do I want to say? Little thing right here that I just want to correct. So pardon me as I do some admin work here. Where is it? July, there we go. And something wonky is going on with my thing here. So this is no fun. So let me make sure we get this. We get this going on because we have good morning, Shannon. We have a decluttering party happening right after this. And I just saw some people signing up. And somehow they're not being, as they say, tagged. There we go. You know, that's so weird. I thought I changed that. Here, let me just do one quick thing here, you guys. You guys will understand. I know you want to make sure that everybody who signed up for the declutter party actually is going to be coming. So here we go. Add, save. I probably didn't hit save. Has anybody ever done that where you think you do the thing and then you don't do the thing, right? So, yeah, alrighty, here, let's try this out. And I'm going to do two more things. So, good morning. I hope you had a good holiday weekend. I had thought about doing some, initially before the weekend, I had thought about doing some, pop-up, and it just didn't work. It didn't just work. And so it was one of those things where I knew everybody would be doing different things more than a regular weekend. So I thought that was okay. We had a fun weekend ourselves. We did. Even last night, we got unexpectedly invited out to our friend's pool. So we did that. And my husband had a number of gigs, one of which I did not go to because I was exhausted from the party beforehand. And it was one of those things. So I hope you all had a good weekend. Now I know I totally am. You can tell by you're seeing me in profile that I am kind of distracting myself for just one more smidge here because I had a technical difficulty, and I just want to make sure that there we go. That everybody who signed up for the declutter party that happens at 8, there we go, and we hit save. And let me just check this. Okay, according to my calculations. Okay, there we go. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me the grace of that minute or two. I want to help people get what they paid for. Okay, so we got TikTok and Amber and Shar, and Shannon and Mario and Cat Mama. Yes, good morning, and Diane and Denise and Ricardo and Mustang and Laura Gibbon Vo. Love it. And you went to the Daughters in Greensboro. Things are looking much more open and less cluttered. Yay. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes the loss of clutter means, there's a story behind why you've got the lack of clutter. Our house, I will share with you from my end, is in here. I want to get this a little bit more stable. Oh, much better. I said to my husband last night as we walked in the living room, and we were actually able to watch something on television. We finally finished the Pee Wee Herman documentary. Our living room looks so big. You don't realize, if you have a lot of clutter, how much smaller it makes your house feel until you begin to remove it and you realize that you literally have more square footage. in a certain room because things are no longer being housed there. So that happened to us totally. It's like, oh my gosh, our living room is so big because for months we had stuff from the basement there, and we have people coming over tonight. And again, like many of us know, one of the tools in your toolkit to increase the pace of which you declutter could be inviting somebody over. So that's what we did. It was actually something that we had to postpone from last month because the house was totally crazy then, but now we can have people over. So good morning. For those of you who don't know me and are like, who's this woman showing up on my TikTok page? My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I show up and I do TikTok lives, YouTube lives, declutter parties. We've got a mailing list, one-on-one coaching, all sorts of stuff for you to help you make it easier, really. Make it easier for you to declutter, to create a way that is like more better, that is better than what you're doing now. I got to share with you, it's going to be better than what you're doing now for decluttering. So if you are decluttering right now or you're cluttered, to me, it just means that what you do to get decluttered could stand some improving. I know, Kat Roby, huh? More better? Yeah, there we go. So you could benefit from perhaps like almost as if it was a business and saying, come into my business. This is the result I want. And this is what I'm doing to get there. Now I think I'm doing the right thing, but I'm not getting the result I want and feeling good about it. So I would come in like a consultant. And I just look at, and you share with me in the comments what you do to get decluttered. And I can help you kind of tweak that. Now, the funny thing is I've been hanging out with many of you for years now, and you are getting decluttered, and it's wonderful. New folks or people that are just, but also people could be following me for years and still not feel ready. I don't know if you feel like that, like I don't feel ready, or it's not working for me. That's when there's a connection between the thoughts in your head, how you're feeling physically, the feelings in your body, both emotions, nervous system, and all that. All of that stuff contributes to you feeling like you can declutter. Alrighty, I love it. TikTok 01 user says, my decluttering deadline is leaving for vacation in August, making good progress. Interesting you mentioned that, because we are leaving at the beginning of August for a week, and then we're back for a handful of days, and then we're gone for 2 weeks. I'm just saying this, and I'm saying it to just let you know that August will be very, very sparse as far as live interaction here. So carpe diem, the what we're doing together here. But yeah, I have a deadline then too, and I don't like the word deadline because it has the word dead in it. Due date, I don't know what I've come up with. Due date kind of reminds me of a library book. I like library books. But the words you use do make a difference. They really do. Now, sometimes I don't get too hung up on them, but notice how the words you use to describe decluttering indicate how you feel about it. Oh, I have to tackle my clutter. I'm battling my clutter. I have to, it's going to take forever. It feels awful. All these things. Yeah, estimated time of arrival, that could be a thing. That could be, an ETA. Because, yeah, I want to, and I love this because Laura Gibbon Voorhees just came back from a trip, and she said one of her reasons for decluttering was to come back from this trip and feel like her house was better. Alrighty, now here we go. Somebody always turns up live doing the decluttering as we do this. This just in from Kat Roby. Kat Roby. And Kat Roby is not in the Eastern time zone like I am. So to me, it's 7:10 in the morning. On Monday, hold on, I'm getting it. Monday, July 7th, Kat Roby is up at 4 a.m. with us, you guys. Now, if Kat Roby can be decluttering at a certain pace at 4 a.m., I bet you could do some decluttering too while you're hanging out with me. So Kat Roby says, 10 minutes of email. Clear the laundry stragglers on top of the machine. Ooh, and she has an update. 23 piles gone, and the office is clear. Kat Roby, my goodness. What? So good, as they would say at a Red Sox game. My goodness. Yay. Removed extra storage and files from the floor. Yeah. My goodness, yes. And floor. So for those of you who maybe need a refresher, probably helps me to refresh it because it's been a number of days since I did a live, 3 layers of clutter. And surface area. Your floor is probably the largest surface area in your house, much like they say your skin is the largest organ in your body type of thing. So yeah, notice the difference. And yay, I hope, Kat, you're seeing all these congratulations and things that people are sending you in the comments. Yeah, my God, what a great thing to do is do that. I love that. So good. So I'm giving you props as well. And doing it a little bit at a time. Notice how she said, what was it, 23? 23 piles gone. She didn't do 23 piles all at once. Okay? She didn't do 23 piles not all at once. No. She started with 1 pile and made that smaller. Then she did another pile, made that one smaller. Lather and rinse and repeat, people. Now, so good on you. Good on you. Oh, and hey, you know what? Just a quick aside too. I saw Tanya B. I saw your, you signed up for the declutter party at 8 a.m. There was a technical glitch. You are showing up and you will get the link to it. So do not worry. Okay. You will get that when the updates show up beforehand. So Carla as well. I don't know if Carla's tuning in. So there we could go. But yeah, so moved storage and shredded over 1.5 feet of paper so far. This is like the half, okay? My goodness. So good, Kat Roby. So good. Kat, I will offer to you. You always show up and you've got it going on. If there's anything you did, okay, making a steady plan to get everyone paperless, I assume your family and whatnot. If there's anything that really helped you this time versus other times, feel free to share it in the comments. I know, just sometimes getting it. I love it. Power Dreamer says, spent an hour shredding my junk mail. Credit card offers this weekend. Wonderful. Another thing you can do, I will share this with you, that has worked for me and my mother to great effect, is to unsubscribe yourself from junk mail you get in your mailbox. Now, it may seem overwhelmingly tedious at the beginning, but it is so good. My mother used to get easily overwhelmed. She's like 84 years old with all the crap that was in her coming in the mail on a daily basis. And she was getting so much crap and that she would miss some important bills because they would get lost and things like that. So I went and unsubscribed her. Now, it took a while. And when you call up to places, which is the way I did it mostly, and you ask them to get you off their mailing list, they do say it can take anywhere from like 4 to 10 weeks because they've forecasted this stuff. But it is so great. It is so great. I get only a couple of things in the mail. She gets a couple of things in the mail. And it's so much easier to see the important things when it's not, cluttered up by junk mail. So cool. Cool Power Dreamer shredding your junk mail. Tanya says, good news. Going to Mom's once a week since she turned 80 for her to try on clothes and get stuff out. Very cool. Very cool. Yay. Tanya, that is major because that happened to me with my mom. It took her until she was 80 to allow me to actively help her with the decluttering. Now, that was 4 years ago, and I've since, I don't go up there for a week at a time, a month at a time, like I had been doing. But that's wonderful. Yay, Tanya. Yeah. Okay, so Power Dreamer says, I have almost 11,000 emails, mostly junk. One thing that I saw, now I haven't tried this myself, but I'm always looking for things that other people recommend to make decluttering easier, is going into your email server, or not server, like service, and looking for the keyword unsubscribe. Because any commercial messages are required by law to have an unsubscribe link in it. If you look just for the stuff that says unsubscribe in it, then you can probably just go in and start to unsubscribe. And decluttering your email takes a lot shorter amount of time than it does snail mail, as they would call it. Okay? Now, okay, so let's get back to Kat Roby. Kat Roby, who just had 1.5 feet of paper that she has shredded, 23 piles of paperwork she's done. And she's saying she just started with piles. Okay, now I'm a big pile maker myself. And what that is chunking it down. Getting all of your paperwork. Sure, if you put it all together, it's going to be a stack, but you really can't do anything with a stack. What you need to do is you need to spread it out and see what you have so you can feel good about the decision you're making about it. So she says, I just starting with piles and really decide, capital letters. Do I need this? Statements and etc. kept from fear. Yes, the fear, you know? And fear will keep you hanging on to stuff that if your nervous system wasn't afraid, you might see more clearly that you don't necessarily need it, you know? Okay, so TikTok user 1 says, alert out last week about clicking unsubscribe though. Now I will say this, unsubscribe. It's like you can't just automatically unsubscribe from everything, but you're gonna go in and it's gonna be those hinky emails that say, you know, you can, okay, so a couple of things, just about unsubscribing from email mailing lists. If you get the marketing emails from Acme, Kohl's, Target, any of those places, those are safe. It's going to be those one-offs that look like kind of fake emails that you might not want to hit the unsubscribe button. And you can always, here's the thing. Now, it's not going to be foolproof because a lot of times they use marketing systems to do this, but you can hover your mouse cursor over a hyperlink before clicking it, and you can see you should be able to see what the link is that's going to show up. Okay, so you could easily, TikTok user, I want to say, unless you have such malicious spam in your email, you could probably safely be going through and deleting 90% of the things because they come from sources you trust. Okay, so just a reminder of that. Okay. So yay, Kat Roby. I just want to go back to Kat Roby doing such good stuff with her paperwork, because paper clutter tends to be the thing that jams people up a lot. And the funny thing is, if you think about it, think about Kat Roby doing all this decluttering, and it's great stuff, do not get me wrong. The square footage that it takes up in your house sometimes isn't a lot. However, the space it takes up in your head and in your body, like, oh my God, I've got all this paperwork. Ugh. That is something that is measured on a far different scale than just the sheer square footage of space that you regain. Okay? So do not underestimate the power of decluttering stuff that are small items, but they weigh heavy on your heart. They weigh heavy on your shoulders with fear. You're hunched over, afraid. What's going to happen if I, get rid of all these bank statements from 1982 moving forward? So I say to you, this is not just about creating more square footage. Sometimes it is. Sometimes and all the time, I will say, all the time, it's about breathing easier, lifting the weight off your shoulders. And if you don't have a weight on your shoulders, you're going to be walking along feeling lighter. Ooh, I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees offers the alleviation of discomfort. Yeah, because having clutter, both visual and spatial, but mental and neurological, can make you feel discomfortable. I swear to God, I think I used that word in the email that I sent about you guys. No, I love it. German Maid says, once I unsubscribe, I type their name in the search bar so then I can delete all their emails at once. The other thing too, and I love that. That is such a great idea, German Maid. Thank you for offering that. The other thing I want to remind you of in that respect is today, with any email that comes in through your email box, start to practice the practice of unsubscribing. Many times when you sign up for something, like I bought something online and I didn't realize, but I'm sure it was in the fine print, that I was signing up for the marketing emails from that company. Immediately when I get a marketing email at this point from someplace that I know that I have worked from before, not some random thing, I will scroll to the bottom and immediately unsubscribe. I can always resubscribe later if I want to. So don't just wait for it to accumulate. Don't let it pile up in your mailbox. You can do, as I like to say, the both and, okay? You can go through and do the massive decluttering of the thousands, and the way to keep yourself decluttered is to change your habits on a daily basis. And it's been so great. It has been so great for me to do that. I do it with my mother as well because I oversee her email. I can look into her email account, and just having fewer things coming in that you have to deal with is like a really wonderful feeling. It's like why I don't go shopping for pleasure anymore. Because it would be fun to go through and see all the new things. And I do enjoy that. If I happen to be out, I will totally visually enjoy seeing new items and new colors and stuff for the home at stores. I love not feeling like I have to buy something if I'm out there, or have to buy something because it's on sale. I love feeling, you know what? I will give myself the freedom to buy whatever I want. I do not go for it in lack. I go into any store and I say, if I see something that hits that right note of I must have it and I'm going to regret it if I don't get it, or it's going to solve a problem that I didn't even realize there was a solution for, I will allow myself to buy things. I do not say no just out of hand. But I have raised the bar so much that something has to be of that level for me to consider adding it to my home. Because I have a lot of stuff in my house already. And the stuff that I have looks good, it's hung up, it's, all those things. I don't want to add stuff to my home unless I really, really, really need it or want it or love it. So I offer to you to think about that. Changing your habits before the stuff even gets into your house to then possibly turn into clutter. Okay? Hey, this is really cool. Kat Roby is saying that her habit tracker is also showing more progress and less potholes. Now I've got to catch up on myself here, and it's been a little bit wonky because of the holiday weekend. Did I keep mine from oh yeah, but here's what mine looks like from last month. I kept it because it was so colorful. So if any of you don't know what a habit tracker is, it's a PDF. It's like a fancy piece of graph paper, as I like to say it, but don't underestimate paper. Graph paper or striped lined paper. Keeping track of your habits. Noticing the things you want to do to increase frequency of doing and the habit of decreasing. Did not buy anything I didn't need could be a habit you want to cultivate for the next many days. And the neat thing is, first of all, a little bit of an admin type thing. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. my coaching here on TikTok and on YouTube and on the internet is Destination Decluttered. And then on the internet, it's destinationdecluttered.com. Now, talking about unsubscribing from like spam emails and marketing emails that you don't want to get, that's one of the reasons why I have a mailing list, frankly, is I can't send anything to anybody that doesn't want it, because the only people that I send things to, links to download a free habit tracker, links to an 8 o'clock a.m., just as a heads up, in about a half an hour, decluttering party. All of that is only for people who have, as they say in the biz, opted in to saying, yes, I would like to hear from you. It's not just this random spam that I sign you up for immediately. You have to go to my website at destinationdecluttered.com, sign up your email list. And when you do that, I take that seriously. I don't bombard you with 87 emails. My God, I could look back and tell you there was some place that I purchased something online, and before the product even came to my house, they had bombarded me. That's the only word I can think of. They had thrown me so many emails beforehand, because it's just an automatic thing. They don't realize they're pinging. Well, I'm sure they do. They thought it was a good thing. I already didn't like that company before I even touched their product. So I take that idea of spamming people very seriously. So I send out very few emails. But when I do, they are only because I have some good stuff to share. Okay? So what I will offer is, if you want a free PDF that you can print out and use as a habit tracker, you get that from me. Decluttering party is coming up at 8 a.m. and it's the first one of July. We have, I believe, 6 or 7 this month. And I'm going to share this with you, because speaking of emails that went out, and I know it was a holiday weekend and maybe not anybody has looked at their emails, but I just want to let you know that the decluttering parties, as you know, come with a ticket price. And for the first 6 months of the year, and even to December when we started them, 50%, half of your ticket price, went to a local women's homeless shelter. And I will share with you, I don't want to say despondent. That sounds too dramatic, because I refuse to let the current administration suck the joy and energy out of me. I am disappointed at the current administration and those who support it, frankly. And one of the things I am doing on my part to change that is I'm knowing that these cuts that are happening and the budget that just passed is really going to hurt people who don't have a lot to begin with. And it's going to help people who don't even give a shit. They've got millions anyway. It's such bullshit. So what I'm doing in my neck of the woods to help people who are going to get hurt even worse than they already are is I have decided that for this month and moving forward, 100% of the ticket money that you send me for your ticket to get into the party, 100% of that is going to the women's shelter. And that is because women and children are affected in these things really bad. And I'm a woman. I know people who have kids. I was a kid once myself. Like, I know what it's like to not have help with things. So I just want to let you know the decluttering tickets, and I've reflected that, I believe, on the stuff, but I sent out an email about that. Okay? It's a decision I came to, and I realized I would much rather, I can survive on having less money if it means somebody else gets more and it can help them. Okay? So I just wanted to let you know about that. Now, Kara's Garden, and I see a bunch of messages coming up. I'm going to get to them kind of in, I almost said archaeological order, chronological order. Kara says, organized memory boxes for oldest, some going to LA, getting archival box for the rest, and she's avoided this for 3 years. I live it. I live it and I love it. That's such good stuff. Yes. Yeah. I did some decluttering myself this weekend. I had a number of bags of paperwork that I brought home from my mother's. I had one giant bag. It was in the corner there for a while that said, shred this. So I knew it was shredding, and it had the date of May 4th on it. And then my husband had some people over to do some recording, so I was spending some time kind of stuck in my office. And there were 2 other things that I was able to increase the amount of paper that went in the shredding thing. The shredding bag is now out in the car because I'm going to take it to Staples. And Staples, okay? Staples, all right? And I want to offer to you these. Remember, you know, I'm always saying these are the notebooks that I like live by because they're inexpensive and you can tear the pages out of them. Not kidding. I'll probably do, I'm pretty sure, I saw it online, 45 cents a piece at Staples. Because even though it's only a few days after July 4th, they're considering it back to school time. And oh my gosh, speaking of getting ahead of yourself, holiday-wise or season-wise, I went into Michael's last week to get some things for my patio that I had barely spent any time on because it was just the beginning of summer. They have pumpkins and Halloween stuff out already. Crazy. But seriously, and I would love it if you got these, because even if it was $2, you're worth the $2. Oh yay, Kara's helping her dad this morning, giving antique wood away to woodworker friend, dumping green waste out of the garage. I love it. Yeah, TikTok user says new habit, delete junk email on the daily. Just need to be consistent. You might want to put that on your habit tracker. You can say you can go through it as things come in, or at the end of the day, you can review what you have and undo it. And I will say this about consistency. Consistency is good, but that's why the way that I do this decluttering habit tracker, I call it pavers and potholes. Because you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be slightly better than you are right now at deleting those things. Yay, sunshine. Okay? So, yeah, there we go. Now I'm cracking up. Cynthia C says Pier 1 store's closing has been a blessing for her. Yeah, I know that feeling. And because I used to work for Pier 1. So boy, do I know the Pier 1 clutter, huh? Very funny. Now, Nina says, I emailed you. I don't think you got it. I don't know if I got it or not, Nina, but you might want to resend it to me. Things might have gotten lost in the clutter. Beth at destinationdecluttered.com. Pretty easy. So good stuff like that. Yeah. And good stuff. Okay. Mignon says, I'm unmotivated to even start. I feel overwhelmed. Well, those 2 things kind of go hand in hand, right? If you're not motivated and you've got a lot of stuff, you can feel overwhelmed. You don't know where to start, so you don't start at all. Okay? And I will say couple things, not necessarily in this order, but actually in this order. So Mignon, I know I'm just catching up because the things have come in hot and heavy. Feeling overwhelmed is a feeling, okay? I'm feeling overwhelmed, and usually overwhelm comes when you're looking at things too big. You're looking at the big picture. Now, I will use my previous comments about being overwhelmed by all of the destruction that is being caused by the current regime, and being overwhelmed and saying, well, what can I do about all those things that they're doing? But look what I did. I said, I can't fix all of that, but what can I do right now, here with me? I chunked it down. I calmed down. I quiet down my nervous system. I get out of overwhelm by slowing down and calming down and quieting down and looking down and closing down my eyes. I'm just picking up all these downs that could help you. I breathe down. Notice how when people pray sometimes, they close their eyes down. They put their head down. They put their hands together and they go like this. Focus inward. Make yourself feel better. Maybe you drink down some water. Maybe you relax down. Getting out of that chaos, overwhelm of everything by down, and then saying, what can I do to help? So getting out of overwhelm. You can feel the overwhelm. Notice what makes you feel overwhelmed. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. And you can do things to change it. Okay? But if you're unmotivated, I get that. I get that. And this is why I call my coaching here to help you. Destination Decluttered. If you look behind me, okay, on the wall behind me, you've got like a pinpoint, like you're on a Google map. You've got a little dotted line. You've got a car. You and I, we're all the car right here. You know, we're like Rick Ocasek of the cars, or maybe Ben Orr. And then we go down here, your destination. Notice how it isn't just another pin on the map, but it's a heart, okay? So anybody who is not particularly inspired to declutter, I want you to think, I want you to write down this. If you had your notebook, I'd have you write this down. First, I've had you write down all the downs. And then I would say, write down what's in it for me. What do I want? What's in it for me? Why am I going to declutter? And I want to make sure that you have something that's going to inspire you to get motivated. You know, that there's something that actually connects up with you. Sometimes having a house that looks like Martha Stewart's is going to do it for some people. Other people, no, not so much. I mean, please, I just saw the Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens thing yesterday, and I've never been inspired by Martha Stewart. If anything, I've been inspired to do the opposite of Martha Stewart. But Pee Wee Herman, yeah, the Pee Wee's Playhouse, totally. Okay? So calming down your nervous system, and thank you for the blessing when I sneezed. Yes, and I did, yep. Bless you even if you don't sneeze. Everybody, you're blessed. Right. And here's a really interesting thing. So learn from the people who are slightly ahead of you on their trip from where they were, which was cluttered, towards their destination decluttered. Kat Roby says she had the feeling of, I can't wait to go into her, versus thinking of her office versus dreading the clutter. Okay? Notice that the things that you dread, you don't do, and then they stay there. But if you can even, put your hand on something, break the spell, take a step towards it, physically move towards it, but also before you do any of that, again, this is why I'm saying, people, we're going to have a lot of workbook talk this month, because I'm going to set you up, because if I'm not around for August a lot, I want you to think about this, is writing down. That's another down in the downs, and it's the big one. It's the one that everybody wants to say, no, I can do this math in my head. But no, you will get to your destination of decluttered so much easier if you incorporate the writing down portion of the coaching. Write down, what do I want? But we're going to be specific. We're going to chunk it down and write it down. Notice the recurrence of the word down. Okay? Writing down, what do I want that surface to look like? What do I want to use that surface for? How do I want to feel when I look at that, counter in my kitchen? Chunking it down to be specific about what you're talking about. I want a decluttered home, good start, but way too general. It's almost like I want to go to California. Right, Kara? No. I want to go to San Francisco, takes you one way. San Diego is another way. Los Angeles is another way. So the more specific you can get, the more specific, the more the details, the little chunks along the way, the little dotted line to get you there, the little steps will appear. But if you keep it general, there's not going to be a lot of action. Okay? Oh my gosh, that's so great. Speaking of stuff from our past that I love, Kara's Garden. Kara says, we went to see Spinal Tap last night. I remember seeing that. It's so funny. I remember seeing that on the big screen. Oh, there was a movie theater, a tiny movie theater, not in Kendall Square. It was between like Kendall and, I can't even remember, but it was in Cambridge, this tiny little place, the Nickelodeon maybe. No, it wasn't there. Or maybe it was in Brookline, but I digress. Some things that's great. Okay, so Little Black Spaniel is saying, this one goes to 11. I want to be able to invite friends and neighbors over at the drop of a hat, or at least every weekend. Yes, all those good things. So notice that. So Little Black Spaniel, this is when you would take your workbook. Okay, your 45-cent book. I'm going I'm going to go to Staples. Well, no, maybe not today. We're kind of busy. I will go there and I will confirm that they're 45 cents, okay? Even if they weren't, you can afford a $1.50 notebook. Going from room to room, making a thing that says living room, right? Turn the page. This is why we use the cheap ones, because we're going to use the book. We're not just going to get a pretty book and let it stay there untouched, okay? And then you put another one, kitchen. Then you put, I'm going to do it because we have people coming over tonight. So we would say tiki room, bathroom, patio, nook, because we have a place in our house called the Nook. And in each one of those places, writing down the things that you want to change in that room so that when your friends come in, you feel better about what you see when your friends come in your house. Okay? Right. So Little Black Spaniel says, so I've decided, right here, I've decided some spaces must always stay tidy and decluttered. Example, dining table. 100%. Yeah. Knowing that there are concentric circles of how public some of the places are in your house. And if it's important for you, if it makes you feel good to have people coming into your house and you feeling good about how your house looks if people happen to show up, then yeah, you're going to want to pay up some attention to your public spaces. You may allow yourself your more private spaces to be a little less decluttered, but try not to do the pitch and ditch method, okay? Alrighty? So notice that. What do you want? What do I want? I literally have it written down right there in little quotes, and I have the I underlined, and then I have a little dot, dot, dot. What do I want? What do I want my kitchen to look like? What do I want to, do with that surface? What do I want to happen in my life? Now notice if it's important for you for it to look good to other people, then you're going to do a certain thing. But I want to make sure 3 things. How do you want it to look to yourself and maybe to others? How do you want it to function? I love functionality because your house is a machine and you should have it set up like a workshop, like to know where your stuff is, to use it, to put it away, to clean it up. So you can easily create the life you want in the home you want. And if it looks good and it functions well, I want you to make sure it feels good in your house. And I want you to take that into consideration, those 3 questions, when you're looking at a part of your house. What do I want it to look like? How do I want it to function? And how do I want to feel when I go into that room and when I'm in that room? Write down your answers to those questions, okay? Now, I will offer to you, too, just as a thing, when if you say, oh, I don't have time to do that, I got other stuff going on, we have a decluttering party coming up in about 15 minutes. A decluttering party is literally a reason to carve out some time from your schedule to do the things you say you don't have time for. Decluttering is often one of them. Oh, I don't have time. But I will suggest to you, so it is 7:43 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States right now, even though technically I'm in a landlocked state, but I'm coastal in my soul where it counts. So it's 7:43 at 8 o'clock, so in 15 plus 2, 17 minutes, we're going to do a declutter party. What does that mean? Is that you sign up for the party, you're going to get the link to a Zoom call, you sign up for you sign into the Zoom, and it's as many people want to show up. And what you have is camaraderie, support, fun, and it's for an hour and a half. It's not going to be your entire day and it's going to take forever. No, but you will be amazed at what you can get done when you decide to calm down and quiet down and take a chunk of your day and say, I'm going to invest my time and money into this. And it's $20, and the $20 is going to a homeless shelter. I am going to invest my time and money into something that's important to me, which should be yourself. Because a decluttered home feels better to live in than a cluttered home. Now, trust me, I say that, and yet I've got stuff all over me. Clutter's not the good stuff. Clutter is the stuff that you don't want, but you're struggling to get rid of. Clutter is the stuff that you have just allowed to accumulate and pile up over time because you maybe didn't know what to do with it, or you were afraid of feeling feelings, or you legit didn't have time or energy. I get all of that. I get all of that. And there's no judgment here. It's a judgment-free zone. Meeting yourself where you are. I don't care if you need to lose 40 pounds or 400 pounds. We'll do the same thing. Starting small, but just starting. And oftentimes all the time, the starting happens with your thinking body and your feeling body. I don't have time for that. No. And then you scroll on TikTok for an hour and a half. That's me, a lot. I will share with you. But I'm at a point in my decluttering where I'm just like, I'm running out of stuff to declutter. I could over declutter, but I feel good about where I am. Deciding that this is something that's important to you. Deciding that you're just tired of living like that and you want to try something else. Deciding and then feeling and having and getting some feeling back into it. Remember up thread, somebody was saying, and I'm bad with names, so I apologize. Yeah, little black spaniel, be well yourself. Not being inspired. How about it being inspired by, I'm just damn sick of tripping over stuff. Of every time I walk into that basement going, ugh, I'm sick of feeling ugh in my house. My house that is supposed to be my refuge from the chaos of the outside world. Now, I love this because Kat Roby has her bed made, but then she says, but sometimes the bed is left cozy and unmade for the kitties. Yeah. You are the ultimate decider. Your decisions, I just want you to feel good about the decisions you're making. And I want you to include your head and your heart of it. And I'm hoping that the people I'm hanging out with, that we are making decisions, we are realizing the decisions we have made in the past that are based on fear, which is on the one hand, but we notice the fear-based decisions. I'm afraid of doing that. I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble. I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble or wish I had that if I gave it away. Fear, 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 fear. Yes, fear. However, we show up on the other hand, right here. And it's the left hand because I'm left-handed. Love. Love. I love myself enough to say that I deserve to live in a less cluttered home. I love the feeling of a decluttered home. I trust, love and trust. I trust that if I donate those clothes, nothing bad is going to happen to me, and a lot of good can happen to somebody else because now so many other people that can't afford to buy things full price can be clothed in clothes. You know? I love it. Samantha took the time during this TikTok live, and I love it when people kind of declutter while I'm here. I don't want you to just you can take notes, and I have a note about note taking. Okay, Samantha just says, just finished unsubscribing to a great many emails. Thanks. It's a great future time saver. Yeah, I have a friend who literally today is his first day of retirement. Retirement is a thing where we stop spending 40 to 50 hours a week at a job, so you have time to do what you want. Now, that's a big chunk. That's from 40 hours. All of a sudden, he has plus 40 hours. But oftentimes, we don't realize how much the incremental time adds up into big chunks. Right? Now, here's a funny thing. SRK, and I've already forgotten what I said to provide the context. He says, every time I touch something, something else falls. Yes, and notice with your face palm emoji, you don't like that feeling. You're sick of it. It's probably like a feeling of frustration. Good. Anger is an energy. Frustration can be something that spurs you into action. But I am here to help you get into that mode. And when you decide to kind of get out of park, and I was talking in the car metaphor, when you decide to get out of park and into gear, that you're driving towards a destination you want, and you're driving safely. You're driving with gas in your tank, with clean windshield. You know where you're going. You've got the energy that you're going forward at a pace that feels good to you. And you're not going to get there in one day. I'm going to say that right away. It is a journey, but you show up and you will get there. And every day that you drive and you do some decluttering, it accumulates. It is like a road trip. You never start back at square one. Anybody here ever been on a cross-country road trip? I have. I've been on many of them. And I will say to you that every chunk, every day, you wake up, you started in Boston, the next day you spend the night in Philly, you wake up, you don't wake up back in Boston and have to start all over again. You wake up in Philly. From Philly you go to Pittsburgh, from Pittsburgh you go to Ohio, from Ohio to, and then, I think Indiana, and then Illinois, and what do you call it? Geography gets a little bit shaky after I get out of the New England and the East Coast. But I hope you understand that metaphor. You get what I'm saying. Okay? Yes, and Linda says, inspiration for decluttering is possible downsize to new home, but if not, present home in order. And let me ask you this. I want things in order. You write that down, and words live here, but the feelings are going to be the spark that's going to spark you into taking action. As I like to say, there's a connection between your head, your heart, and your hand. Because you will not move any clutter unless you've allowed yourself to, both with words and with feelings. And I love Linda because she's saying, even if I don't downsize my new home, I want my present home to be in order. I would say, what does it feel? Closing down your eyes, closing out and down your eyes, and pretending like your house doesn't look how it is, and then sit there and use your imagination. Spark a feeling of what it feels like to live in a house that's in order. House in order. I believe that is one of the few parts of a lyric from an REM song circa 1982 from Chronic Town, I think. House in order. What does a house in order feel like to you? What does it look like to you so you can even feel like what it is to be in that imaginary house? When I was living in the house that my parents, I grew up in, and it was decorated with antiques and old-timey stuff, I closed my eyes and I imagined Pee-wee's Playhouse. I imagined living in the monkeys' beach house with all their random kind of thrifted stuff in the way, and the spiral staircase. Now, I'm not a big spiral staircase fan, but closing your eyes and saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to temporarily block that out, and then I'm going to go inward, and I'm going to say, what do I want that to look like? What do I want it to feel like? Do I want it to be air conditioned? Do I want it to be warm? Do I want it to feel just right? This is really where the magic is, but you generate your own magic. I have had crazy, awesome things that happen in my life that I think are kind of magical. But I will share with you, I know they wouldn't have happened had I not kind of been on the journey and moving towards what I want. Okay? Kara is in the car at her dad's. Dad's green waste dump savers. She's shipping 2 boxes. She's going back home to work on her garden and jewelry. I love it, Kara. And as a loving friend, I want to remind you to pay attention to your body today. Your body isn't giving it the signals sometimes you need. It's almost like your gas gauge doesn't work. So you have to be extra mindful of not emptying your gas tank, right? So I love what you're doing, and just pay attention to how you feel throughout the day. All right? Now, Diana says this is just what she needed to hear this morning. Good, because that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And speaking of being here, I am only on TikTok right now. And who knows, I will say there's been talk about, so a couple things. There's been talk about TikTok having been sold. Now, I don't know the details, but we've been thinking about that this is going to happen literally for the past 6 months. Okay? If TikTok goes dark, if TikTok changes and it doesn't feel like a safe place to be, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. We do lives there. All of the declutter, there are so many recordings of these lives that I do that you can actually, those are the ones that that you want to take notes on. Okay, you can take notes when it's live. I would much rather you get up and move around and interact and ask questions. Embrace the liveness of it. Okay, interact, engage. Any question you have about it, as one of the inspirational things I have on my things is pull everything you can out of your teacher. Okay, and seriously. I kind of, my brain's all over the place. So again, I'm going to notice I shut down my eyes. I'm going to quiet down and calm down. Taking notes, writing down stuff. The Destination Decluttered YouTube channel has, as of today, there we go. I'm just checking it right now. And there will be no YouTube live today. There might be a pop-up this afternoon. We'll see. 767 videos available to you for free. So you can't say, oh, I can't afford it. You can, Blanche, you can, because it's free. Those are great to take notes on because you can stop them, you can slow them down, you can speed them up, you can rewind them, you can put closed captioning on them, okay? And so really, there is such a resource available to you. So if your brain is saying, I can't afford one-on-one coaching, I've heard that before. I get it. I have a number of awesome clients, and I'm always keeping room for, I will always keep space open for others. But if your brain is saying, I can't do it because I can't afford it, I offer to you, it's free. There's a lot of this free stuff that's available to you. Oh, I don't have time. Okay, well, where are you using your time? You know? Now, I love this. User 616440 says, your videos kept me company and motivated decluttering this weekend. Yay, that's what they're there for. So that's really cool because like this week, so I'll share with you again. And also, this is another thing you get from the decluttering, from the being on the mailing list. Signing up at destinationdecluttered.com, get on the mailing list. You get access to a secret page that I think I need to update. But it shows you the schedule for TikTok lives and YouTube lives and declutter parties. Now, so many of you know to check that page, but I will just give you a sneak preview because I need to get this in my head too. Tomorrow, there's a TikTok live and a YouTube live. But Wednesday and Thursday, there ain't nothing. Friday, we come back. Saturday, nope, busy. Monday of the next week, there's stuff. So if you like what you hear and you like the liveness of it, sign up to get the TV guide. Okay? Now, I love this because Kat Roby used to dread her paperwork, and check out the change. When you start to feel how good it is to declutter and that you feel the confidence in yourself, that you can do something that you used to be afraid of, you want to practice it all the time. Okay? Because Kat Roby says she found 3 Doom bags in the laundry room. Doom, acronym for didn't organize, only moved, right? Found 3 Doom bags in the laundry room, and then she's like, ooh, the shredding that's coming. She used to dread it, and now she's excited about it. Isn't that cool? I love it. I truly love it. I love seeing that switch flipped from fear to love. To I'm afraid of it, to oh my gosh, I crave doing this. This is so good. This feels so good that I can do something that I used to be afraid of doing or I wasn't good at. That for years I told myself it was hard, and now I realize how easy it is, and I just want to practice it all over the place. Yeah, so Linda is saying she just had a hysterectomy. Oh, hun, hope you're healing. Yes, can't do much physically, but seriously, sitting here manifesting a game plan, write down that plan, okay? Now, speaking of plans, I'm going to give one more shout out to today's decluttering party. We have more of them happening during the month. You get the schedule for that too when you're on the thing, okay? Yes. Hey, Erin, nice to see you. We have a decluttering party going on in like 1 minute. So I'm going to sign off, all right? I will see some of you at the party. I will see maybe some of you tomorrow on a TikTok live or a YouTube live. And I highly encourage any of you who are not on the mailing list, okay? Any of you who are not on the mailing list, sign up for the mailing list. Beth, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach, destinationdecluttered.com, okay? You guys rock. Okay, this is so much fun. I kind of missed you over the weekend, but let's make the most of our time together, okay? Bye. Oh, silly. There we go.